Someone just lit off 2 fireworks next to my house.
Didn't hear it.
Really? Because it was very loud, and it felt like they lit them off in my backyard.
Heard nothing.
That's dope. What do we usually open the awards ceremony with?
I don't think we have a consistent theme for it. So I guess this time we can just be like, hey, we're just going to breathe from our balls and tell you about our favorite anime.
That sounds fair. I think that sounds like a good plan of action.
That's just that's what we'll do. So we're going to breathe from our balls and tell you about what we like this season. Which was nothing.
I mean, there was 1 or 2 things, but this is the Protagonist seat. This is a podcast where we do just that. We do both of those things.
We do that. We do that.
And this is a once-in-a-season episode. If you're here for this episode live, then, like, congratulations. You've hit a once-in-a-season opportunity.
Yeah, because these don't come around too often, except once every 3 months.
Right? It's crazy. And that special thing is called the Seasonal Awards Ceremony.
Please note the curtain.
Yes. The curtain's back there. It's very red.
It is very red.
That's all I have to say about it.
It's blood red. Crimson, red, if you would.
It's blood crimson, stained with the blood of the shows that lose.
But, yeah, so we didn't cut anything, so we don't got to mention that.
Yeah. Amazingly enough.
We didn't cut anything, but we could have.
We mentally cut one show, but we continued watching it anyway.
For some weird reason, we decided to do that. The weird thing, too, we didn't expect it to get better. I guess let's just mention it, because it doesn't win any awards. Spoiler alert.
We could, we'll give Higehiro the most consecutive cliffhanger letdowns award. Because every episode...
I don't know how you could be let down, though, because I gave up a while ago, so it just became like this thing where I never expected it to get good, and it met my expectations by not getting good.
I'm going more with the intentions, because here's how I justify that award. Literally every episode ended with a cliffhanger that was like, guys, conflict is going to happen next week. And anyone who knows things will look at that and say, no, it won't. You let us down every single time, Higehiro. It's not going to be conflict. It's going to be solved in the most chill way possible.
And it always is.
But their intention is to be like, whoa, we're going to amp them up with this sick cliffhanger. And then they let everyone down.
Also, I'm
doling it out by intention.
They have... Everything about it is super generic. Even the opening and ending, I just cannot remember just because it is an anime opening.
Yeah,
nothing about it stands out whatsoever, and that's the worst part.
If you had an AI create an anime opening and ending, it would be the opening and ending for this show.
Yeah, that feels like a good way to do it, where it's just like, hey, what is an anime opening like? I got it. It's like this.
Yeah.
But on to the good openings, because that's where we always start our show.
Yes. The best way to start is with the OPs. They weren't as good as the endings. Let's just get that out of the way. They were all right. Yeah. There was one very standout OP this season. And the rest were like, okay.
So the first up is Shadow's House. That one didn't even have lyrics. That's
true. I don't know why I didn't actually realize that. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's but it's fine. You get all the characters appearing, and there's some running around going on. Looks like there's some sort of bad thing happening, so it's setting up that there's a mystery going on. There's some intrigue to be found in the house.
I mean, a good OP has to set the tone, right? I say it every season. So, like, it does that.
Yeah.
It does that very well. That's all I really got.
I wish I could be more excited about it, but like I said, the openings are fine. They're just fine. The Zombieland one was good. It had a good song. The only problem why I think I don't like this one more is that the first season one was better.
The first season one is better. It's a little sad.
It's got more interesting stuff. It's got more batshit visuals going on. This one's just kind of like, yeah, it's fine. Like they're riding the bike.
They're riding the bike. They're doing like, there's some plane fightings. It's pretty cool.
They were the Power Rangers last time, though.
They were the Power Rangers last time, and that was very good. There was also, I believe,
very cool.
A lot of zombies.
Yeah, because that one actually had zombie opening and stuff. I almost forget they're zombies sometimes this season until near the end where I'm like, oh yeah, the zombie thing. They got to hide that.
Yeah, it didn't really factor too much into the season as a whole.
Yeah, it wasn't a big issue this time.
Especially not at that part where it gets revealed that they're zombies, and then that turns out to be totally fine.
Because they're too nice to be zombies, so then it's not a problem anymore.
Zombies aren't that cute. And I gotta give it to them. They're kind of right. Because zombies usually aren't that cute. I don't know.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, because, there's that's starting to change. There's this particular VTuber zombie that people are really into. You yourself, I know, are into, so.
Yeah, that's true. And there's another one.
There's
not
another
as
zombie
cute.
VTuber.
There is another zombie. Actually, there's a couple zombie VTubers out there. Some of their designs are kind of interesting. It's nice when they do something a little different than just like, I'm gray and I wear a hoodie. My hoodie is torn. I think that's why I like that certain VTuber's design a little bit more.
She's got a sword stuck through her head. That's pretty awesome.
She has a sword in her head and her body's all Frankensteined up and shit. And she's got undead heterochromia. It's good shit.
The laziest zombie design ever was from a show I watched, like an anime, several years ago now. Maybe like a decade ago. Korewa Zombie Desuka, or as most people referred to it as, Korean Zombie Desk Car.
Oh.
The main character is a zombie and also becomes a magical girl, and he looks just like a regular dude. Like, he's a zombie, but he doesn't have any features of zombies, just that he gets really dried out in sunlight.
That is a very boring zombie design.
But the show was pretty cool. That show was pretty batshit. Like, again, he turns into a magical girl. Like, he's still a dude, but he's got the outfit and then a giant chainsaw.
That's very good. That's very good. Very cool.
Very cool. And he lives with the necromancer that summoned him back, and she's basically mute, but she's also in a full set of armor, even though she's a necromancer.
I think the best necromancers are the ones that wear heavy armor.
Feels like a Death Knight at that point.
Yeah.
But I guess to be a Death Knight, you have to be dead. That's the caveat.
That's
so I guess all
true.
Death Knights are necromancers by nature, and then if they die and get raised, they're a Death Knight.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, Zombieland Saga is opening. I forgot we're still doing this.
Me too. We got a little sidetracked on zombie stuff, but that's what the people are here for. They're here for long, meandering,
It's because
meaningless...
we're not passionate about this. We're passionate about other things, like zombie aesthetics.
Zombie aesthetics are very good. I've always been down with the zombies.
But to get back to the OPs, the last one is the 86 one, and that is just it's an anime opening.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's a
I
little
can kind of
weird.
remember the song more than like the other ones.
Kinda.
In fact, I actually don't like it that much because I feel like the ending tonally fits better with the show than the opening does.
It does 100%. Cause like the OP is almost it feels disingenuous to have it be a little, not even a little, just way too generic. Cause like this
It's a good
show
show.
is very good, and you slap this like half-baked OP on it, and it's like, come on, man, you can do better. And then the ED is very good. So it's like, we know you can do better.
Yeah, do better. Actually, that's why I'm glad it's getting a second season. Maybe the season 2 one will be better.
I hope so.
To be honest, though, I'd rather a bad OP than a bad show.
That's true.
Because like the show is awesome. If like I have to sacrifice having like a stellar opening for the show to stay this quality, then that's fine.
It is, yeah. Out of anything, that's the best thing to sacrifice.
If I had to give it to one of them, though, I guess I'm giving it to Shadow's House.
I also give mine to Shadow's House.
Because it's the only one I can remember.
It's got
Thank you,
mystery.
Simple Loop.
It's jazzy. It's got mystery. It's like real nice.
But now, what was actually good, the EDs.
Yes. What better way to end our program?
Shut the fuck up. We're not doing that this time. This is a different kind of award show.
You can say that, but I've already done it.
Edit it out. Edit it out. Scrub it. Scrub the video.
No.
We'll start all over. We're going to start all over. Welcome to the Protagonist. I'm Alex. That's Ian, and we're doing our award episode.
About it. I'm going to keep talking about the bit that I did, that I do every time, because if I keep talking about it, it'll be impossible to edit it out.
That's why we're going to start from scratch.
We're not starting from scratch.
Fuck it.
If we start from scratch, we lose that dope-ass zombie convo.
That's fine. I'll just repeat it perfectly verbatim.
But I won't.
Can't believe he can't do that.
I can't. My memory is very bad.
But yeah, the EDs. We only have 2 on here, actually. So I guess never mind. They weren't as fire as we were saying there are. But the ones that are actually really good. The 2 we picked are great. The other ones would just be filler, so we didn't even bother. Like, yeah. I legitimately cannot even remember the ED for the rest of them. But the 2 that we picked, the 86 one, just...
It's and very then the good.
Shadow's House one. Just... Oh, these are scrumptious. Just... Let me feast upon these.
Eat them up. Just eat them up.
Both of them are very, very good.
The 86 ED is just like
you got all that morose piano with it. You got like that. It fits. Excuse me. It fits the tone of the show just really well.
It really does, cause like.
And I love the visuals in that last episode where everything was sort of like washed out in like red and gray.
Yeah, there's always a part in every episode's ED, because it
always ends on frames. It freeze frames on a specific scene, and then it will go into the ED.
Yeah,
and it becomes like a watercolor painting almost.
Right, and it's very good. It's stylistically different, and there's always something that's like red.
I like the Shadows House one too, just because I like how it shows the dynamics of all the different groups of like main characters.
Yep. And it gives us like a good look at how everyone interacts. Cause like I don't know.
Because you got like Kate and Miliko. Miliko's all smiles, looks like she's about to drop something because she's not paying attention. Then you got John and Sean, and the reason Sean's dropping something is because John's being too extra.
It's like John is trying to catch Sean is trying to catch something because John is being super extra about whatever, probably Kate.
And then you got Ricky or Patrick looking over to Ricky because, Ricky's the real brains and Patrick always needs to rely on him. Shirley and Rum don't even really interact with each other.
They aren't even facing each other.
And then Louise is just busy staring into Lou's eyes because she's obsessed with herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the song is good too.
It's also a very good song. I keep forgetting to look it up, but I want to say it might be done by the same person who did the OP for
It is called Nai Nai by Riona.
No, I don't know who that is. Sorry. It's not that one.
And the 86 one is it's a Hiroyuki Sawano song. That explains why it slaps so hard.
Yeah, it does. It's got probably one of the greatest anime musical composers ever. Just ever.
And I do like the second ED because I'm seeing it on here, the Hands Up to the Sky one. It's like the more upbeat ED that they play.
Oh, okay.
I would pick for mine. I like the 86 one the most.
I am gonna go
because I feel like it really ends episodes really well sometimes, whereas the Shadows House one is just a good ED on its own. But I feel like the 86 uses its ED into the show. Like it's like an actual transition out of the episode.
You know what? You've convinced me. You have convinced me to change my opinion. Because I agree.
I used my charisma score to change your mind.
Because I was going to say I disagree. I like the Shadows House one a little bit more. But you know what? I like the fact that the show uses it, like actually uses it to punctuate an episode. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's why I really like it, but I just feel like it ties the whole package together sometimes.
And you don't always get that. In fact, you rarely get that.
Yeah. Sometimes, because I feel like sometimes you can do that with the opening, or more so the ending than the opening, that you can use that to punctuate an episode. And a lot of shows don't take advantage of that. They just are like, all right, here's the cutaway for the credits.
Exactly. And cut to credits. And even if the song is good,
it's the same way like of how you can use at least, or with the opening, you can use the opening during like really hype moments in a show.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I feel like sometimes you see in an episode, the ED will kick in, but the show isn't quite done yet.
Yeah.
And they talk about some like real intense setup shit. And that is kind of what this feels like, even when it's not doing that, which is very nice.
Because certain shows just couldn't do that with their EDs. Like a Rumakun, if they had a serious episode, can't just cut into its ED.
No, they really can't. That would not go over well, no.
Yeah, that's the best ED of the season. But now this is probably the one which people know for this one. We've been talking about this one all season. Best Boy.
Do we even give the other contestants?
It'd be a waste to give other options when we know this season we're picking John.
It's John. It's always been John. It's just John.
It's just John. Every single scene since his appearance, he's been just the best character.
He is deliciously extra. It is amazing.
He's the most hype. Like, every time John is on screen, I'm like, oh shit, John's always doing something.
If John's on screen, something's gonna get blown up. Or he's gonna like shout. It's great.
Or not even that, just the way he solves problems, he just comes off as like the most genuine character. Like when Ricky was like in trouble that one time where the boulder was coming at him, he was just like, yeah, I know I'm a shadow master and it's like I'm more technically important than the faces, but whatever, I'll just switch spots with him.
I'll just change spots and blow up the boulder that's gonna crush him, and I'll just save his life.
Or the fact that he fixed Sean by punching him, whereas the other ones needed more like emotional methods. He was just like, I am going to beat the evil out of you. I will beat the brainwashing out.
He does the barbarian puzzle strat. He ultimate just brute forces it. If I punch you hard enough, I will fix you. And it works.
I also love, too, how in the last episode, even though it's filler stuff, but it does feel like something he would totally do if that's how the manga decided to go that way. He sneaks over to them dressed as the veiled doll. Even though they're like, hey, we should just let the rest of them handle this. And he's like, I'm in. And he just sneaks over.
And he waves. He does, like, John sneaks over in an attempt to stealth mission and then basically doesn't even stealth mission. He gets caught immediately. It's very good.
Yeah, it's John. It's not even a contest.
Sorry, everyone else had to show up.
That's
we
why
apologize.
We shouldn't even bother with the best girl one because we only have 2 for that category either, and it's quite heavily won.
Yeah.
So best girl, it's Yugiri. How could it not be Yugiri? Yugiri, one of the best episodes this season was the Zombieland Saga incident episode. Her story gets a 2-parter that takes place in the Meiji era. It doesn't even feel connected to it feels connected to the rest of the show because obviously it is, and the overall themes of saving Saga, but it feels like it's something out of a set piece drama.
Yeah, it tonally is so different from the rest of the show. It's just great.
Good. That's the thing, because normally that kind of thing doesn't work well. I guess it depends on the series, but a lot of times it can be jarring if done wrong. You're like, what is this? This show is supposed to be about zombie idols. It's like, nah, dude, this is about this bad, hard as fuck courtesan lady who's not only good at pretty much everything she does, she can fucking fight.
It's like, it reveals so much too. Cause like, you learn that the old man at the bar that Shades has been going to for like 2 seasons. Turns out that old guy is a necromancer and he's been around who knows how long. Who knows? Forever.
Yeah.
And he just does this. This is a thing he does.
Yeah, Yugiri is technically predates Kotaro even starting this whole thing.
Yes. And
which makes sense why he doesn't ever scream at her specifically. He treats her more with like an air of respect because it's like, yeah, she's way older than me. She was here before me. Not even just in like natural age, like just being a zombie.
I would also respect her because like she's probably killed a lot of people. She could just cut my head off and I wouldn't even know. My head would be on the ground.
I'd be a zombie too.
Yugiri would turn me into a zombie.
But yeah, it's Yugiri. It's completely 100% Yugiri. Other girls ain't even trying. Yugiri was so good that she went from being our least favorite Zombieland Saga girl to our favorite. That's how good her episodes were.
Yeah, it literally took 2 episodes.
Because Ian was a huge Saki stan.
And you know what? Now it's fucking Yugiri time.
Next time we go to a convention when, that can happen again, Ian's going to have to get a Yugiri keychain instead.
I will. No cap. I legit will.
Maybe Anime Boston 2022.
2022. That feels weird to say.
I mean, we're already more than halfway done with 2021.
We are.
We need to get to specifically November so I can play Endwalker.
Endwalker hype.
Endwalker hype. Ian's gonna join me too. He's gonna main ninja. I'm gonna be a samurai. He's gonna be a ninja, and we're gonna weeb out.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
He's gonna play ninja specifically, like the hardest job.
I don't like MMOs. Actually, you know what? Ninja sounds so like weird and out there. It feels like the one thing that could get me to play an MMO by just being so overly complicated.
Yeah, you can have like whatever, how many ever button push their weird opener is, because you got to do the fucking jutsu like hand sign things to make your abilities what you want it to be.
That's what keeps me engaged. I need constant button pushing to just mash.
And you get your fucking Greninja water shuriken thing.
That sounds cool.
Ninja does look cool. It's one of those things where I want to play it, but people say like Ninja's one of those like classes where you don't really like. It's either your main or you just don't bother with it.
That kind of feels like how that would be.
Yeah. I got a friend that likes it, but she likes doing she likes complicated jobs with a lot of button presses.
That sounds like what Ninja is.
Yeah. She also likes doing I think she mains the Astrologian, which is a healer that does the card thing. I like playing that one too, but not at like a high skill level. Because at a high skill level, you gotta like do all your fucking shit with your cards. Be like, draw this one, throw out that one, double redraw, draw another one, second draw.
Jesus.
Doro, monster cardo.
Just like get a never-ending Magic the Gathering card turn.
Yeah.
Even though I'm pretty sure the game is designed so that you don't do that.
It is. Yu-Gi-Oh! On the other hand, I know there's a bunch of cards that are like, keep drawing until you get this.
Keep drawing until you get Exodia.
All the pieces.
Just all of them.
I played this card, which lets me keep drawing until I have all the pieces of Exodia in my hand, and then it lets me play them at no cost, and then I get to also attack on the same turn.
Actually, the thing with Exodia is if you draw all of the cards in your hand, you don't even have to play them. You literally just win. That's what it says.
I imagine that's probably not tournament approved.
I don't even know if you can get Exodia cards. Like, I don't know.
Oh, but another good thing about 14, Ian, is not that it's, because I know you don't like MMOs that much, but it's also a single player JRPG into an MMO, and I know you don't like those either, so
yeah,
it's a combination of two genres you don't like that much.
Yeah. That's why I got to like level 12 and that's it.
Hey, it gets better at level 50.
That's a long ways to go.
Hey, come on, Asmongold did it in like 3 days.
It's because that's his fucking job.
That's true. He did play for like 8-hour sessions.
Asmongold is like that. That's if my job was to play MMOs, I probably would pick it up, but that's not my job.
It can be.
It can be, but
Never know. Start streaming MMO content.
I'd rather not.
But think about all the content. Like, they have a lot of content. You'll be busy for a long period of time. A lot of stuff to stream.
You're not wrong.
Play BDO.
Ugh. Jesus, no, I'm good.
Come on, it's great. You can grind.
I don't want to hate streaming.
Yeah, I couldn't play a grindy MMO on stream. That's what I at least like with Final Fantasy is that the story gives you enough XP where you don't need to do side quests. So
That's
you can just do the story and you can skip every side quest. Like I don't know if when you played you were doing those, but those are worthless. You can skip all of them.
I did a couple.
Yeah, they're
And
unnecessary.
I was like, I'm good.
Because I don't know how I don't know if people get to a point like it's like, oh, we're gonna play like stream vanilla WoW, but we're gonna get to like the level 40 range where we just run out of quests and dungeon content to do. So we're just gonna go and just grind for a couple of levels.
That should tell you right there that game is not made very well.
Well, this was classic, so this was made in like 2004, back before the standard was really like solid.
Yeah, the standard was like, hey, let's make a game where people can get everywhere that they need to be.
Like classic raiding in old MMO, like like WoW raids were the equivalent of, I don't know, just go and make sure you just buff. Did everybody buff? Then you should be good. And there'll be like one mechanic where there was just like one stupid thing. I remember on Courage, which was like the bug temple raid from Classic. There's just like one boss in there where if you don't have frost mages, you can't beat it.
That sounds awful.
Because you got to freeze it. So you got to have frost mages to just pelt it with frostbolt, and then after you can actually damage it.
That sounds actually awful.
Me and Nick went in there once while we were this was like during a later expansion, so we were like level 85 or something, so we could easily like blow through that whole dungeon. And then we got to that boss and we're like, oh, so Nick's a paladin, he can't hurt it whatsoever. Thankfully I was a death knight, but I had one ability that did frost damage, one, and it was on like a fucking, like I think like a 15-second cooldown, so I would just use it and then we just sit there while nothing happened, and then it would come off again and I would use it, and we spent like 10 minutes just waiting for me to just keep getting it off cooldown just to kill this thing that didn't even matter.
That sounds like the worst experience ever.
I imagine back in the day it wasn't too bad when you at least had probably like several, like, because these were 40-man raids, so out of that 40-man raid you probably had at least a couple of mages.
I would certainly freaking hope so. Oh my god.
But now raids are cool in MMOs because they have all sorts of neat mechanics. High-end fights. Big think.
And that's what everyone really wants. Everyone wants more mechanics.
The big think.
You need big thinky energy.
But yeah, MMOs aside, I could make a separate MMO podcast where I just talk about MMOs because I really like the MMO genre.
Hey,
I gotta become Josh Strife Hayes.
Who is that?
That's that guy Nick always links the videos of. He basically is the MMO guy. There's a lot of MMO guys, but basically his entire YouTube channel is just talking about MMOs, and he plays some real garbo ones just to talk about them. Like, I have played this backwater Korean MMO that only has 10 people playing it, and let me tell you why it is the worst MMO on the market. Essentially, the 10 people playing have all spent $10,000 on this game to be better than me at it, and I will never win, and that's why it is not fun.
I don't think I like those videos.
I mean, they're fun videos just because he talks about like shit about, you're like, this exists? People play this actively?
People will play anything actively.
Yeah, no, he's got good content though. Like he talks about like MMO game philosophy and design and stuff like that too.
That kind of stuff seems pretty interesting.
Like, yeah, he'll like do sometimes feature pieces on certain games, but then obviously then he'll just do the general stuff.
You should host a podcast with that guy.
Yeah, I'll just ask him like, hey, you know how you have a decent YouTube following and we have 35 people? well, why don't we collab? We can help each other out.
It's not even just collabing. It's like, hey, you like MMOs. I like MMOs. We should talk about MMOs, but also make sure we record that talk.
Yeah.
And do it on a semi-regular basis.
You know what? We can get my friend Ian to play all those MMOs you've been talking about. Specifically the weird ones from like the back end of Asia.
I'd play some weird ones. I feel like it would be entertaining content to make someone who doesn't really like MMOs play some real weird MMOs. That could be fun to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna make Ian play through an entire MMO. That's you know what? That's gonna be good content for the podcast.
It will be for our second podcast.
Yep, new podcast content. Ian's gonna play through a bunch of MMOs till level cap.
Yes, but a bunch of weird MMOs.
Yeah. Bunch of the ones which actually won't be fun for him whatsoever. It'll basically be the same thing of like, hey, kill some. It'll be like that South Park episode where they kill boars for 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
That's going to be what Ian's going to be doing. Except he'll move on to different areas where the boars are different colors.
That's
and the
how
game
it
will
be.
tell him, you're getting stronger. You can fight these boars, which are stronger than those boars.
You have effectively summed up every MMO.
No. I summed up RPGs.
Yeah. We should move back to the awards.
Well, we're nearing the end, so we did Best Girl, Best Antagonist. So we actually have 3 for this one. We have Edward,
the ultimate henchman.
Yep, the guy who really wants to get in the grandfather's good graces. So much so that he'll fuck over a bunch of kids.
Not only a bunch of kids, but all of his superiors as well, except for grandfather.
He just really loves his grandpa. And Shorei Nozen, Shin's brother.
A crazy brain robot.
It's not his fault he got his brain taken. So I guess I'm just going to call him Legion Nozen.
Legion Nozen is a fucking awesome name. Like, that's the coolest name. Nozen. I like it.
And then lastly, Renove from Irumakun. We were light on antagonists, so he fits the bill. He was an antagonist for an arc. And then the rest of Iruma was like studying was the antagonist.
Knowledge.
But
You know, I hate more than Romier? Knowledge.
I did really like Shin's brother, more so in the sense of like how, because the episode where he finally confronted him was really good. Also the final episode too, where like, you know, he's not like mentally blocking out his brother anymore, and his brother shows up dressed as the knight.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good imagery in that sequence. It's not just like a fight. It's a mental battle.
I also love how Edward is basically super autistic.
Edward has hyper fixated on this one goal to the extent that it is hilarious and amazing.
Like the weird things he does where he's like, he just gets stressed out and starts going to play the piano, and everyone starts dancing, and then he's pissed off at after. He's like, I was playing the piano to calm myself down. All these kids just started dancing.
That does sound like that does sound like an actual thing that would happen to an autistic person.
Yeah, he's got some weird quirks.
He is eccentric, to say the least.
I didn't like how his plan in the last 2 episodes didn't really make sense, but that's anime only, I guess. So
yeah.
But I do like Edward, so I actually will give it to him.
I will too, because Edward's great.
Because the other one was basically a robot with hyperfixation from the brain that it stole.
both of our villains had a lot of hyperfixation going on this
And then
season.
the other one was the dude that would sing about himself, who I found annoying.
Yeah, we just straight up hated that guy.
But not hating a like, oh, this is a good antagonist sort of way.
No, just
more like this guy is annoying.
This person is terrible, and we hate him. I think Edward was a pretty clear choice because we talked about him a lot during the season and how much we enjoyed his weird, crazy antics.
Yeah, he's the safe one. But best protagonist, this one is actually got contenders.
Holy shit, there's actually choices.
There's choices. So we have Lena from 86, Emilico from Shadow's House, and Aruma from Aruma-kun.
Now, I think Aruma puts up some good fight this season because we get evil cycle. We get evil cycle Aruma, who is very entertaining.
Yeah, evil cycle Aruma really kind of refreshes him because that guy was cool. That guy was just cool.
He was just neat. He was because like evil cycle Aruma still wasn't really all that evil.
Yeah, he was just Aruma, but a go-getter.
But a real go-getter.
I like Emilico. I like her Miss Sunshine personality.
It's a welcome departure to stuffy noble culture.
But at the same time, I have seen her character before.
Yes.
It's not a particularly unique archetype. Lena, I think, personally, is my favorite, just because I think they did some really interesting stuff with her character. And at the same time, they almost kind of did like sort of like the white savior trope about like, oh, I'm not racist, but called her out for not really doing anything, just having, nice thoughts about helping.
And instead of going into white savior mode extra hard, she was like,
yeah, I'm not doing
changes.
enough, and I can't say that I'm in the same situation or I even understand because I don't.
She actually grows as a person, and it's very good. And it's a thing you don't see very often, which is also very good. So I'm giving it to Lena too. Congrats, Lena. You did it.
You're a good girl. I look forward to seeing you in season 2. Hope your city doesn't get too fucked up by the robots.
It probably will.
It needs to get a little fucked up, to be quite honest, but hopefully not too fucked up.
Yeah, you need that right balance of fucked up to get people to pull their heads out of their asses.
Like, I don't want to see the Alba get genocided, but, getting kind of like a nice rock in the boat might be in order.
Don't, just shoot them, just shoot the Alba race in the face, but, give them a slick haymaker. Just rock them.
Yeah. But that brings us to the Gilded Trophy. That
was almost like a Geiger counter.
And there it is. That's the anime of the season right there. Right before us. In all of its glory.
I mean, I usually don't put the picture up until we've actually said it.
But it's right there. Because we picked the same one, of course, right?
Honestly, I think we did.
I think we didn't, maybe. Maybe you're going to say the wrong one.
You're right.
Be totally in character for you.
I picked Higehiro.
No! It was supposed to be Aruma-kun. I'm kidding.
It's not either of those.
86.
Yeah, 86 is mine too.
Holy shit, this show was so good. And I remember the first couple of episodes I was way more into Shadow's House, but Shadow's House, the fact that it has an anime original ending kind of hurts it.
It does.
But 86, just wow. Every episode past episode 4 or whatever, I think when we learned that I think that's the one where we learned the robots are zombies.
I believe so.
It is just a constant, it's not even a steady incline, it's a hard incline.
Shadow's house, Shadow, you know what? I will open with Shadow's house. Shadow's house has a lot of cool characters that are very interesting to watch. 86 has like, I think at least two of my favorite characters this season, period. Because you've got like, Shin is supposed to be the cool, aloof, like, I'm the leader and I'm the super badass. But even he is like a little bit more complex than that, because he's super badass because he really can't afford to die by his brother. Like, his whole goal is, I need to kill my brother.
And we even see there's moments where like he breaks through that whole thing. Like even after killing his brother, he has like himself a pretty big cry that everyone kind of just turns their mics off just to kind of let him have his moment.
Yeah. And then once his brother's dead, he's like
kind of purposeless.
It's what do you do now? It's very good. And even like the remaining, like 4 people we're left with, like watching everyone just kind of hang out during the recon mission is so entertaining.
Yeah, it's really good. And and we already discussed how good Lena is just because she got the pro tag of the season spot.
Yes. That's why I neglected to rant about.
But
how
even
awesome
side
Lena
characters
is.
too, like Frederica, where we see her like Lena's friend, where she's basically just the way the show handles the racism elements thing is really good, where she's kind of been complicit with it, so she doesn't want to think about it. She wants to ignore it because obviously she knows it's wrong, but if she ignores it, then maybe the problem will just go away, since that's essentially what they're doing with the Alba, or not the Alba, the 86s. Because even her uncle, Lena's uncle, knows it's wrong, but he's like, we've already started doing this, so at this point, we're going to get like super in trouble when the other nations figure out what we did, so I guess we're going balls to the walls with this.
Yeah, the dedicated government man who's like, we need to keep our country safe no matter what, and we did some bad shit, so we need to extra commit to this.
Yeah.
It's
like a lot
all
of stuff.
All of the characters are very well written.
And I'm excited to see where we go from now, because I'm pretty sure our 86 main characters are going to end up in Giard, which is the former empire that, or then became Republic or whatever, that created the machines.
Yeah. I am genuinely like very curious about what's going on with those guys.
Oh, and Fido was a really good character, the robot dog.
Yeah, we shouldn't call it a robot dog.
Well, they treated it like a dog. It was their pet robot that they treated like a dog.
Yeah. And it was genuinely heartbreaking to watch Fido die.
Speaking of good endings, how they punctuate the show, they use that second opening, the more upbeat one, over that clips of them just playing through Fido's memory storage of just like all of their time there while living on base.
And it turns out that that's the worst part of that, is like they do that and then it's like, oh,
and now it's all gone.
And all of that is gone. They was
basically
Fido.
Punctuate like that's everybody that's all of them. They existed and now they're gone. And the memory of them is gone because Fido is gone.
Fido, you get to watch Fido go through his memories right before he dies.
Because he takes a hit for Shin.
And it's just genuinely heartbreaking.
That's right. He's a good dog.
Fido is
for his master.
You know what? We should have put Fido on the good boy list.
He's a
even
very
though
good boy. It's still John.
it's still John, but he deserves to be there.
Honorable mention, Fido.
Yeah.
But yeah, 86. It's just very, very good.
Yeah, it does
I'm
a lot of
pumped
neat
for
stuff.
season 2.
And it's getting a season 2. We're getting it. Oh, it's so good. I'm excited. But that's it. That's our awards. We did it. We gave them all out.
That's true. We don't have any left.
We didn't
Sorry,
print enough.
Hero. We didn't bring any extra.
You can have this paper that I wrote on that just says, "You really fucked it, kid."
You can have this empty water bottle.
Yeah. We'll put the note in the empty water bottle. It'll be kind of damp.
But that's great. When you open it, you can sing "Message in a Bottle"
And
by the
everyone
Police.
loves that song. It's a very good song.
Yeah, the band The Police is underrated. It all came full circle.
I think the band, The Police, is very good.
Message in a Bottle.
It's a great song. But thanks for watching. We'll see you again next season. Next season we've got all new shows, a whole new lineup. Holy shit.
Yeah, we have not actually started watching anything. We're kind of behind on that. I watched one show so far, and I liked it.
So between the two of us, one show has been watched.
Also, we're not going to pick Higurashi because I found out there's only going to be like 3 episodes of new content, and I really don't want to like watch all the stuff we know the secret to, just from a different angle. It's like, oh, this person was bad because Sadako injected them.
And it's stuff that pissed us off the first time. That's like, we're going to watch it.
We're still going to watch it. It's just no point in talking about it. Unless we find all of a sudden from watching it that it pisses us off so much to the point where there's a lot to say about it.
That's true. That might happen. At this point, I wouldn't put it past it. But if you want to listen to us talk about the new shows next season, then make sure you're following us everywhere. Just everywhere that's ever been.
Everywhere. We're on YouTube, of course. Hit the subscribe button if you're on there. We're on social media, Twitter and Facebook at Protagonist Seat if you want to get updates. You can follow us on basically every pod platform.
Yeah, just like there's not even a point to listing them all.
You can follow us to the store, to the barber shop.
I would prefer that you not do that. That'd be kind of weird.
Follow us to Ian's house.
I would really genuinely prefer that you don't do that.
Follow us to the bathroom.
That's going way too far.
Follow us everywhere. Everywhere.
Not to the bathroom. Or my house. Or Alex's house.
Follow us from specifically 20 feet away. So constantly we're wondering, are we being watched? And make sure to duck out of the way if we look around for you.
So basically just do the movie It Follows.
Yeah. Except in that movie, if it catches you, you die. In this one, you don't actually ever get close enough to catch us.
Yeah, you just stay that far away, and that's fine.
And it's really for example, if there was an earthquake and all the ground was turning into lava, and the only safe spot was where we were standing, you would still have to be 20 feet away. So if that's in the lava, then you're going in the lava.
You'd have to take one for the team. Sorry.
Imagine there's a magnet in us and in you, and they're the same polarity, so they push away from each other. You just can't get in past that 20 feet.
Yes. Do that. But that's all we got for you this season. Oh.
Press that button.
Watching. Press whatever button is applicable to you.
Yeah. Press whatever button is there. There's probably a button, you just need to press it.
Press your buttons. A whole new season's coming. Holy shit. Stay tuned. and class dismissed.